All right, boys, welcome back. It is that DDF Podcast, and it's post-rivalry week. Just finished up that week 5, and so this week got another short stack coming at you, only 3 of us. We have the Commish, we got Justin over there. We got Mr. Terrible Towel, Nick, representing his team. And then you got your host, myself. Yeah, some big offense actually going off this week. Some players just really showing up. I mean, which equated to some teams in our league going off for over 200 points. Which, I don't know what's going on this year, boys, but some teams have been hitting that 200 mark quite often. At least for...
I would not know.
Yeah, seriously.
I get close.
Or if you're me, you bench someone that went off for 25.
I was looking at your matchup and I was questioning some of your moves, to be honest with you.
It didn't matter how well I did. I wouldn't catch up. Which, to that point, being one of the most important weeks to go big, some of us had some very strong showings, while some of us had some very interesting showings. But during this week...
had bad showings. That would be me.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. But
totally
yes,
fine. I'll complain about my team after you guys do a victory lap. It's totally cool.
But
victory lap. I'm the only one that won.
Between us 3, you are the only one that won. But
be
there
gentle.
was only one.
I already told Ryan that Suicide Watch is like a shortcut on my phone.
Luckily, we have broken a minute, so we're fine to say that.
Yeah.
But it is a broken record. Every week we have something. We have some big injury or a long injury list coming out. Every week, it seems. But with so many injuries, that means more players are given more opportunities. I'm sure we're seeing some more rookies being able to go off a bit more, or guys that are in that 2 spot, they're able to step up more. Or unless you're me and it's one of your rookies that gets hurt. So that was great. But with all that said, I know how Rivalry Week went for me. How did you two do, seeing as how you two went against each other?
I'll let the winner go ahead and speak.
So, Rivalry Week, going into it, losing Rashid Rice, losing Malik Neighbors, Joe Mixon out again. I legitimately expected to be neck and neck. My offense, speaking of offenses going off, mine was one of the top 3 this week in scoring team-wise. Swift, Connor, 2-point conversion from him. Wan'Dale Robinson finding the end zone. DJ Moore having a revenge game against Carolina. Carolina got beat by the ghost of who could have been, because they could have had Caleb Williams with that draft pick. They could have still had DJ Moore. So I legitimately watched Carolina get kicked by what could have been their future. And it was pretty entertaining to watch. But that revenge game was bittersweet for me. And I haven't talked about him a whole lot on the podcast, but my man TJ Watt getting 1.5 sacks, detrimental to the team, man. Causing a forced fumble, got me 16 points.
Hold on, you said you haven't talked about him a lot. Are you kidding me?
I really haven't. Go back and watch the podcast. I really don't talk about him a whole lot.
You said it was I think he's gonna break the sack record. First episode, you said that shit.
Yeah, first episode, but then that was it. Like, I haven't brought him up a whole lot. That's my boy, and
I will back him up here. He hasn't talked about him much. He's talked about him some.
He only bestowed the best glory for a defensive player and then kept quiet about it. All right, that's cool.
Well, to be fair,
I had Owusu Kuramora.
J-O-K.
He hit the trifecta. Yeah, JOK. He hit the trifecta: sack, fumble, interception, pass deflect.
I hate my life.
Yeah, I mean, he's picking up right where he left off. Phenomenal for me. And then, unfortunately, I think it is the demise of Patrick Mahomes' fantasy value this year. He's just been so inconsistent, lackluster. I mean, his highest scoring point in our league is a 16-point game against the Falcons, which he should have lit him up. So it's disappointing to watch him play right now. It's entertaining to watch the Chiefs play, but it's disappointing to watch him play. Because these handoffs and pitch backwards that they're doing, making it look like child's play in these games, is entertaining. But I think it's time to move on from Mahomes to Mayfield on my bench. So that is going to be my quarterback for the future, for the foreseeable future, until Tampa Bay says, thanks for the playoff game, we're going to go ahead and get rid of you again. So,
well, yeah, that was... Considering I lost to your team, I did think I had the advantage going into it with all those injuries. Like, without Rashee Rice, without Malik Neighbors, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, he's missing 2 of his best receivers. Like, that should be fine. Mahomes isn't really lighting it up, so, I mean, I don't have to worry about him. And then my team took a squirrely dick right in the butt. Like, I mean, I'm fucking so tired of this shit. Every time. My team did not do well. Josh Allen got a concussion, and then they let him play, so that was pretty cool. Let's see here. My number 1 running back is Devon Achane, who also got a concussion, so that was pretty fun. My number 2 running back has a shoulder injury, who's getting supplanted by the guy who I drafted last year and dumped promptly, Tank Bigsby. So that hurts doubly. Let's see.
And he went off to be RB1 this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool. His name was a fucking joke all offseason, and now he's kicking my dick in, man. I'm tired of it.
Not to throw salt on the wound, Ryan. Jesus.
No, it's fine. I already knew about it, man. It's not his fault. Marvin Harrison couldn't catch a goddamn cold in the fucking Arctic, man. I swear to Christ. His catch rate is like 50%. It's fucking pissing me off. Oh, my God.
He's just not getting the target I kind of thought he would either.
A bright side.
Can't catch the ball. Like, he's not getting open. That's the problem.
Bright
I mean,
side is Kelsey's back.
Kelsey's like the only bright spot. That took the death of Rashee Rice. We had to sacrifice his body and his knee in order for his career,
his value to go right back up.
Exactly. Like the LCL of Rashee Rice has lit a fire and caused Travis Kelce to do well. My kicker actually had negative points because he missed an extra point. That was fun. Yeah, I got screwed up and down pretty rotten. So I'm halfway to hanging up a terrible towel next year, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe Puka Nacua or the Ghost of might be healthy by the next time we play in Week 14, but we'll see. I don't have high hopes.
I mean, but I'll have Cup back, so...
I'm ready to fucking turn in the entire season now, so it's whatever. I'm like turning away trade offers left and right for future picks. I'm like, no, I need those picks.
Yeah, no, picks are going to be important for both of us next year. But yeah, jumping into my week, I obviously went against the best, what turned out to be the best team this week. When you have Lamar Jackson go off for 37.5, you had Garrett Wilson go off for 27, Mike Evans for 20. I mean, Michael Pittman going off for almost 13.
That's the Flacco effect, man.
Nico Collins had 14.
That would have been worse for you had he not gotten hurt.
Oh,
that would have been so worse for you if he didn't get hurt.
Oh, I know. But that just means that next week, though, maybe Stephon Diggs will get targeted more.
You for sure will, because Tank Dell he may as well not be playing on the field, yeah.
Yeah. And, of course, his defense, my God. I don't know what they were doing this week, but his defense, just his defense, went off for, if I can do some quick math here, 25, 37, 44,
good Lord,
52, 60.
I count 65, 50.
I mean, still, 60-plus points from your defense is pretty damn solid.
Yeah, 65 for your defense. 65 for your defense. That's nuts.
I mean, Scotty was wanting to go all in on this year, so here's hoping this does something. He needs to play Andy, Because Andy's number 1 in our league. He hasn't lost yet because nobody wants to score fucking points against him. That's another story I can't explain, but Scott seems to be
it's the luck of the draw. It's the luck of the draw of the schedule.
I suppose.
And who you go against.
The dipshit that made the schedule is. Oh wait, that was me. I'm an
Who's
idiot.
that fucking guy?
Who's that?
Yeah, some asshole. Don't worry about him.
But in everybody's defense, other than Scott, nobody was stopping Andy this week. He had 2 players, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, put up a combined total of over 81 points. Just 2 players. That's hard to overcome.
How did he not get high score?
Because Scott's defense put up 80 points, and Andy's
tells
defense
me, the rest
put up
his team.
20, 30.
Well, to give you an idea, our top
three.
three this week in points total. Nick in third at 172. Andy at 203. And then Scott at 210.
That's 31 points more than me.
Yeah.
31.
I think that might be the high score of the league. That might be the new high score.
No, 215 is still.
Is it? Is it 215?
Okay. Yep. Week 1, season 1.
Oh, that was against me, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
when the entire Pittsburgh defense went off in the last 5 minutes of the game, and
I remember.
Yep.
My team took.
But we've kind of established 2 very clear front runners, at least in our league this year. 2 very clear front runners, and then the rest of us.
I mean, some of you guys are in the middle of the pack. I'm at the bottom. I'm holding up the league right now.
I'm not far behind you.
You have 2 wins. That's so much more
I
than
might
me.
have 2 wins, but I have the lowest points scored.
I mean, I'll take that if I had another win. I can only beat Scott, who scores 210 points.
But that also gets into your point that you brought up. Andy has the fewest points scored against him.
By far.
By heavy margin, nearly 200. But just like the NFL, you have to beat what's in front of you. A win's a win. It doesn't matter by how much or how pretty it is. You just got to beat the team in front of you. Which somehow the Chicago Bears find themselves 3-2.
It's a defense, man. It's good defense.
Yeah. Except for this last game.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, that trade between my brothers is starting to pay off because DeAndre Swift did better than Bijan and Breece Hall combined this week. And I will take that any day of the week.
I'll talk about that pretty quick. In the offseason, both the Stumper brothers, they had a trade that gave Joe, who already had Breece Hall, it gave Joe Bijan Robinson, who Nick actually drafted in our very first rookie draft. He traded a whole bunch of picks and what was it, DeAndre Swift?
Tua and DeAndre Swift.
And basically all of Joe's remaining picks, which weren't a lot. It's a lot of.
I think I got 6 picks for it.
Yeah, something ridiculous. And ever since then, Breece and Bijan have been cursed beyond repair. I don't know what the hell's going on. Nobody who is drafted in the first round in redraft leagues is probably worth a shit at all this year, dude. It's pretty ridiculous. Tyreek Hill,
unless somebody was taking neighbors
CeeDee
in the
Lamb
first
is not
round.
really doing the best, or definitely not what he was projected to do.
Definitely not what he was doing last year, that's for sure.
I mean, Christian McCaffrey is weekend at Bernie'sing all over the place, or whatever the hell the term would be.
To add
to
Justin's story about that trade, I actually took a couple of those draft picks and traded them in for a first-round pick this year, which turned out to be Malik Neighbors. So, overall, I came out ahead in that trade, hands down. Even though everybody thought there was quite a few people thinking collusion was involved, but no, I definitely came out ahead in this trade. So
so far,
the record is showing at 1-4 with very few points scored that he is not doing well with those guys.
This is the first year after the result of the trade. We don't know what's going to happen going forward. So I mean, you saying you've won already is kind of ridiculous.
I won this year.
He's winning so far.
I'm winning so far.
It's week 6. You can't say you won shit.
You can't say you lost the league.
I can say whatever I want. I'm on the bottom. You leave me alone.
Says a guy who's writing off the rest of the season so far.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much. Hey, I'll do some.
He's the commish. He can do what he wants.
Absolutely. I'll change the rules to favor myself. I'm corrupt.
Last place wins this year.
Very
Last
correct.
place is first place.
All it takes is one hot and spicy McChicken.
Ew,
Not sponsored by
McDonald's?
McDonald's.
Ugh. I don't eat McDonald's. No thanks.
Okay, fine. I'll get you your wings at Zips next time.
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you, though.
No, Hungry Monk is where you got to do it.
That's fine.
Oh.
At least they have real food. Definitely not sponsored by
saying.
Zips because their food sucks shit.
You take those. Their wings are some. But
Yeah, they're good
just
shit.
looking over. Not gonna jump too much more into the food situation.
Not for this week.
But guys, I hate to keep bringing it up, but just more and more injuries right now.
Yeah, dude.
Like, there have been some seasons where it's like, okay, some unknowns are getting more chances, and you have some breakout seasons, and they're mostly makes sense, like just with age with some players that just aren't going to have the same production that they do. We're seeing big names go down early in the season and for a long time. I mean, we have Christian McCaffrey going down.
I mean, he was
Wait,
down.
I mean-
We didn't even know that.
And who knows how long he's going to be down.
It's actually kind of funny because I heard somebody write into another football podcast that I listened to. They were just writing in looking for like some kind of validation to like a kind of joke that they brought up. They said like, we the people would like to sue Kyle Shanahan for false information about Christian McCaffrey's leg injury. Like saying he was questionable all off season and then all of a sudden he has like tendonitis or all that nonsense in his legs. And like he hasn't played since, and you gave us no heads up and that kind of shit. So we're suing for damages and all that kind of shit.
My fantasy football league is over because of you.
I mean, he's on Scott's team, and Scott should be the most pissed about it, and I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah, but he's got the backup, so.
Nah, but that's
Thanks
besides
to somebody.
the point. We're talking about injuries here. Like, obviously McCaffrey is like the chief among them because like he was probably taken at like
Top 5
2,
in every league, probably.
easily, if not like top 3. And he hasn't played a goddamn down. You look at, well, obviously the pre-existing injuries, like you had both like starting receivers for the Eagles have made Jalen Hurts look like garbage. Hopefully they get Nick Sirianni fired because he's a terrible coach, but whatever. I mentioned all the guys that I got hurt, like Josh Allen got banged up this week. Achane got banged up this week. Apparently Etienne had a shoulder injury going into this week. Nico Collins got knocked out of a game this week.
TJ Hawkinson's still not playing.
Yeah, well, he had like
That's
an
a big
ACL
name out
from
there.
last year, so
Yeah, that's a little bit of carryover, but that's still a top 5 tight end. Top 3 in some.
Going into week 6, still not having played, yeah.
definitely a top 5 for sure. But like, I didn't actually get the chance to watch any of the games this week, so I didn't see any of the other major injuries. Joe Mixon seems to be one that's perplexing me at the moment because he played week 1 and then he was. Did he even play week 2? Did he play week 2?
Week 2
Okay.
was when I picked up Cam Akers.
Oh, so you picked up Cam. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so yeah, he like basically had one big game and been hurt ever since. And I'm not hearing a lot of good things. Like at first he was like week to week, then day to day, then week to week, then day to day again.
And then he practiced.
Yeah, and I think that's where he's at right now, day to day. So who knows?
Yeah, week 2 is when he got hurt against the Bears.
I mean, but sometimes injuries can be good. Like if you're a Colts fan, Anthony Richardson being hurt kind of makes all the other players on that team, besides Trey Sermon, he looked like garbage apparently. But like the fact that Joe Flacco, being 39 years old and being the best quarterback option for probably a lot of different teams this year, I think. Like if he played for the Raiders, he would be starting. If he played for the
Browns.
Dolphins, he'd be starting. If you play for the
If he
Browns,
stayed
he'd be
at the Browns.
starting. It's absurd. But like the way he plays, like he's an old vet who knows how to sling it. He's always had a great arm too. Like, and he was so boring as a player, like in his prime, and then now he's just this old grizzled vet, and like. Apparently, what did I hear? Like, one of the rookies on his team, or the guy he was playing last week, they said, it's like, oh, you're like a father figure to this player or something like that. He's like, yeah, apparently his mom is like a couple months like older than me.
What the fuck?
Something like that. Well, I mean, it makes sense. Like, he's 39. Some of the rookies coming in are like 21. That's feasible.
Like 20, 21, yeah.
He could be an 18-year-old knocking somebody up, and that kid could be playing with him at this moment.
Yeah.
It's just a wild thought.
That is so crazy.
Well, I mean, you guys, to get off topic, LeBron James is playing in the NBA with his son this year. They're both on the Lakers.
We don't need
That's
to talk
true.
about that shit because he held the fucking organization hostage. Just
Yeah,
like he's holding the
absolutely.
league hostage. Fuck
But
LeBron
anyways.
James. I hate that guy.
I'm with you.
You brought him up, goddammit.
I know, but I'm with you. But we were
Yes.
talking about people playing with their kids. Like, that right there shows you it's possible.
It is possible, yeah. But, yeah, I mean...
40s.
And I mean, how many... I mean, Justin, I know you have a lot of guys on your IR list right now. You have, what? 3?
I mean, I wish I
We have
could.
3 spots.
Just
We
a
have
lot of
3
guys that are
spots.
hurt. Well, yeah, but I don't have anybody on the IR specifically.
Because they're
in
doubtful.
that... Well, yeah, they're in that weird middle ground between, like,
I see.
if they were
They're in
out,
that
I could
weird
put them
spot.
in the IR spot. But they're just doubtful for, like, 3 weeks in a row. I'm like, motherfucker, I know that they're gonna be out.
questionable.
Why can't you just tell me and, like, stop lying to yourself so I can throw him on IR and pick somebody else up? No, we're just going to leave him there. And you know what sucks about this kind of shit, too, is that my best running backs currently, or at least the top 2 guys that scored on my team, they're both in my goddamn taxi squad.
I was just about to say, you might want to start looking into bringing those guys up from the taxi.
I
don't know what's the way Swift's going. I don't know if you can bring Johnson up, though.
But
Johnson still has the positive value. Yeah, with the touchdown, third down back.
He's the goal line back, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to think about that at all. But Jalen Wright, on the other hand, I might have to promote because HM with his concussion. But they have a bye week, so we'll see how that
They have a
goes.
bye this week, yeah. And I was just about to say, because Mostert was able to get a lot more touches because HN went down.
Yeah, I was going to say Mostert's back, too, so 98 total yards.
But goes into more concussions, because I think we said HN had a concussion, Josh Allen, concussion.
Correct.
Tua went out with a concussion.
Yep.
There's a laundry list. Laundry list of Trey McBride, Malik Neighbors. I mean, there's a laundry list of people with concussions. Malik Neighbors missed this week because he still hasn't passed concussion protocol. You know, Trey McBride came back, and then they were trying to say he was questionable with a rib injury, but he was obviously healthy. Put up 12 fantasy football points. Not unhealthy to do something like that, but
I mean, he can still be concussed, though. That's the thing.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, before we really were looking at concussion protocol, players were out there concussed, just playing through it. So, but no, I think Ryan's going more towards the safety aspect of things, and I'm starting to think that Guardian caps should be just worn all the way around. You wear them during practice, you're already used to that weight. What's the difference of wearing it in an actual game?
I mean, honestly, because a lot of players still use it as a weapon. And I don't know if
With their helmet or
the helmet. I don't know if the Guardian cap is a more effective weapon, but like people just and they're creatures of habit too. Like, you know, sports stars are very superstitious. They probably don't want to change up the helmet that they wear.
Change up the
probably
helmet. But I mean, my issue is that all these players are being taught to tackle wrong.
Yes, they are.
And they always are going for their big hits, starting with the head. It's like it needs to start at a younger age where they need to learn how to tackle properly.
The field goal or the goal line fumble that I watched was caused by a helmet because he led with his helmet when he jumped over the goal line.
For the dude
I can't remember what game it was. Yeah, I think it was the Steelers game when he jumped over the goal line. Yeah, knocked it out with his helmet. That's what hit the ball to cause the fumble because that's what he led with. Like that's how they're being taught, is to just lower your head and hope and pray that you're going to tackle the person in front of you. And it's that lowering the head that's screwing them.
Yeah, but I mean, but this whole tackling thing, that would only indicate that the defensive players are suffering from a massive amount of concussions because they're the ones that are doing it.
That's true.
It's these guys that are getting hit in the head. That's the other thing. Those are penalties already. You don't really have to police that any further. But I mean, honestly, even if they don't get hit in the head, they could probably be driven to the ground. Their head bounce off the damn ground, and then they're throwing up gang signs like Tua. So, what can you do?
For the third time that game, Jesus, he should have gotten taken out long before that. But in the past,
injuries.
We've talked enough about Tua, unfortunately. Because
hopefully we can talk some good about him when he comes back. That's what I'm hoping.
Hopefully.
Because then at least the Miami Dolphins will be something relevant, and then we can have some good football coming out of there.
I just want a quarterback that's going to throw touchdowns. And that's what he does best. So
you have Baker Mayfield, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that was a great pickup when Tua got hurt because he has not scored under 20 points yet.
I mean, that's what a lot of us are hoping for, is just a quarterback that throws touchdowns, which is a perfect segue into what you mentioned earlier, is Patrick Mahomes just can't seem to do that.
Yeah,
is something going on over there? What's going on with Mr. Mahomes and his inability to throw touchdowns right now?
The fact that I could have been 4-1 at this point, one more win, if I would have known that Mahomes was just going to eat dog shit all year and started Mayfield that week instead. It is unfathomable as a Mahomes owner, and for my team name to be Mahomes and Company, to know that going forward he's going to be sitting on my bench because of the trash play that he's given me so far to this point. I mean, like I was saying before, it's awesome to watch their offense play. It is insane to see some of the weird things that they do. The Kelsey to Worthy handoff for the touchdown, the Kelsey pitch backwards to P. Ryan to extend that play out. I mean, they were first in 40. And to get a first down out of all of that trickery that they did was just insane. But fantasy value out of Mahomes is nowhere near what it has been in the previous years. And anybody who has him, I understand the pain. He's going to the bench.
Well, would you still consider him a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, even with the pretty average play he's had so far?
Absolutely, because his ability to have this trash performance and his ability to persuade the refs in every single one of the games to help throw them for him is awesome. But to know that on a dime he can turn it on and make those passes, I mean, we watched that weird, silly pass where he came forward in the blitz and just dumped it to Kelsey because he knew where he was going to be. That's what you're getting from Mahomes. Whereas if it was somebody else, it could have just been, oh, we know we're going to get to him. He's not going to do anything special. So NFL-wise, still a phenomenal quarterback. Fantasy value sucks.
Yep. Which, I mean, we're kind of seeing that just with a lot of fantasy quarterbacks, is they're not, unless you're Lamar Jackson, who is a running back first, just fantasy value, not quite scoring what they used to. I don't know about if you guys have felt that, but at least on my side, when I had Geno, Stroud even right now, I think Stroud's broken 20 maybe once. And then I picked up Derek Carr right after his hot streaks, and now he's been barely touching 10 points. I don't know if you guys are feeling it, but at least fantasy value of quarterbacks just are not what they used to be this year. I don't know if you guys are feeling that.
Anyway. No, I would maybe I would tend to agree a little bit. Because there are some quarterbacks. It's a little early to tell on a lot of them. I mean, Josh Allen has, I think, considering he's my quarterback, I try to keep an eye on him as best I can. But I mean, he's really only had 2 like stellar games, but also he has had like a couple stinkers, like kind of this last one especially because like he got his chin checked. But Joe Burrow has like been kind of up and down. He seems to be surging right now, so I'm not going to really throw him under the bus about like somebody who's been struggling. Lamar Jackson is probably the number 1 quarterback on the year at the moment, based on the points that he's been throwing up, especially after last week.
Yeah, 35. Yeah, that felt great.
Yeah, good. Like I brought up on my screen over here, I brought up like the top scoring fantasy quarterbacks. And you got to go down a pretty good clip before you get to Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy. Stafford is underneath him. Yeah,
Stafford is down there?
It's not good. It goes Burrow, Cousins, Jackson, Flacco. Yeah, and from there on.
Do you have the most current one? Because it's Lamar Jackson, Mayfield, Burrow right now.
I'm not looking to. I looked at just this last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Burrow scored like 43 points. Cousins had 40. Lamar Jackson 37. Flacco 31. Like that's really enough to tell you like this
is
low
painful
week,
to see. Yeah,
it's not good because like Mahomes has like 10 points. Purdy had a bad game. Kyler Murray had like a good rush. He had like a 50-yard rushing touchdown, but.
Yeah.
But going against that good defense, you're not going to see a lot of like. He's not going to light him up. Just being a Cardinals fan.
This goes to show you how bad Mahomes has been fantasy value wise. There are 16 quarterbacks out there doing better than him currently. There is one right behind him. One, Kirk Cousins. There is one quarterback right behind him, which should not be that close. So Mahomes on the year has scored 65.1 points. Daniel Jones,
40 points.
Yeah, Daniel Jones has scored 63.6. You should not be that close with the offense that the Chiefs have and the O-line that the Chiefs have. You should not be that close to the trash that the Giants have going on.
Excuse me. Well, that was the thing I was actually... Like, I'm pretty steadfast in believing that the Chiefs, they are not preoccupied with these fantasy numbers. They probably don't care at all, just because they're winning games. So there's not a lot of attention to be paid to these kind of things. I mean, they're paying him to win games. He's winning games.
And if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Pretty much. I mean, same thing with Kelsey, probably. Like, nobody gave a shit the fact that, like, he wasn't performing. They're winning games. I was saying that, like, a few weeks ago when I was at my wit's end. But...
Is he still on the trade block?
Kelsey?
Yeah.
No, because Scott tried to trade. He wanted to pick up Kelsey. He offered me Hunter Henry and a third. And then he dropped Hunter Henry, like, after I pretty much ignored it, so...
Yeah.
I was like, I guess I can't trade then. Not like I was going to, because, like, I'm going to ride this bastard out. Especially, like, he only wanted him because Rashee Rice got knocked out, so now he has value. Before, he was nothing.
Yep.
But more to the point about, like, Mahomes, like, quote-unquote struggling. Who knows if that's going to get fixed, dude? Like... I would have figured like Xavier Worthy would be more of an impact player than he has been. But Juju got like 130 yards receiving or something like that yesterday.
Juju showed his old Steelers self when Antonio Brown was the main target.
It was his
second that's what numbers he was. Yeah, that was numbers he was putting up in Pittsburgh.
For 1 year, and then he washed out.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. He's got Worthy, who's supposed to be wide receiver number 1. Fast, just like Antonio Brown was, and where's Juju thrive as a wide receiver too?
I think people are more making the comparison to Tyreek Hill than they are Antonio Brown, but
that's fair.
Player. They're not the same player, obviously, and like they've adapted their system to where they don't need that guy to build their offense around. So I mean, what they had was Rashee Rice was running the same routes that Kelsey used to run, just those old little hooks over the middle of the field, catch it and run. And that's what was pissing me off with the Travis Kelsey owner. I'm like, well, he got his routes taken away. Now what is he? He's just some dude that's going to make a sad face on the sidelines. Ooh, real fun. I don't get points for frowns.
No. Well, and to your point, too, NFL teams, I don't think, care about fantasy value. They care about wins on the board. So
Sure.
we can talk as much as we want about struggles. NFL teams don't care.
I'll tell you right now, they don't. Arthur Smith said that.
Yeah.
I don't care about your fantasy football team.
Yeah, but he's a chode, man. That guy sucks.
Trust me.
He's a nepo baby
Trust
because
me.
his dad owns Home Depot.
As a Steelers fan, it pains me to watch this offense right now with Arthur Smith. How terrible he is.
Would it be better with Russell Wilson?
No, because we'll still have Arthur Smith as our offensive coordinator.
And you probably lose the rushing ability of the quarterback too. So I mean,
No, he'll still try to rush him. He'll say, "Oh, I've got Justin Fields to play with in case." I can see it now. He's still going to scramble Wilson a little bit. It's not going to be good for the foreseeable
Wilson
future.
still considered hurt right now?
With the phantom injury, yes.
I mean, I wouldn't want to play for Arthur Smith, so I don't blame him.
I mean, he would probably want to play because he's got that ego about him. He wants to be he just wants to be the dude. And
Yeah.
I have no clue what's going on with him,
Last
but
two
yeah,
plays.
no, he's every game he's the emergency quarterback.
Yep.
Number 2
So-
quarterback should never be the emergency quarterback.
Yeah, he's not healthy, but he's healthy enough to play if that situation arose.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how that makes any sense. I mean, I guess because that situation should never arise, but San Fran knows firsthand what that's like. So, but they got Brock Purdy out of it, so it worked out for them.
Fair.
Well, let's be real. They lucked out with Purdy. That's what they got very lucky.
No, Purdy lucked out that he
100%.
got to that stage to show what he had.
I think it's a little bit of both of those things. I mean, Purdy obviously lucky that he went into a system that he fit very well, and the Niners are lucky that he was actually very competent at running that system. So, infinitely better than Trey Lance, which is something that they can clearly just put in the back of their mind or forget about completely.
Where is Trey Lance now?
I think he's a backup with the Cowboys, though. Last I checked in preseason, anyway. I can't say for sure. I saw him throw 5 interceptions in the preseason, though, so that was pretty cool.
Trey Lance is a backup in Dallas.
Oh God,
Yeah.
heaven forbid Dak ever gets hurt.
I mean,
Oh, what was the?
yeah, that would be bad. I think Cooper
think it
Rush
was-
is still the number 2, though.
I think he is actually.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
Man,
Cooper Rush then Trey Lance.
Yeah, that's
man, Trey Lance, what a fall from grace.
There was not a lot of grace to fall from with that one.
Not a
though.
lot of grace to fall from.
But I mean, but they did trade up to get him in the draft. I mean, that was his grace, and then just from there, it's been a fall. So, what can you do? You just gotta move on with whatever you have at the ready, I guess. That's what the Cardinals did. They had to cut the bait with Josh Rosen after they sabotaged his career with the worst head coach and offensive coordinator combination. And worst GM. Like, it was really all bad all the time.
It was bad all around.
And that's what sucks. Is that's what it takes sometimes to ruin a quarterback. Is just the bad coaches and that quarterback who could have had an amazing future is now nobody wants to look at him because of the way he was being coached. Not because of the way he was playing, but because of the plays that were being called. It's unfortunate, but that comes with the job territory.
Yeah, it does seem like it's always a bit of a chore. Or, I mean, I think these guys kind of make it harder on themselves to try to mold these quarterbacks into something that they want to see as a success instead of something that they could be, like, taking their natural talents and then turning them into something that they could be successful in their own right. I mean, look
Do you
at
think
what
Bryce Young will ever be successful?
No chance.
No.
He's too small. He's far too small.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray, outbulks him by a lot. Like, it's not even close.
Does he
And
really?
everybody makes fun of him for being a tiny
Jeez.
little guy.
I was just
A
going to
little
say,
Oompa Loompa?
the joke about Kyler Murray is how short he is.
Yeah, and I'll listen to the short jokes because I still think he's a damn good quarterback. He still throws a great ball. He runs very well. It's proved it last week. But I mean,
When he
there are
actually
some
watches
games.
film.
Yeah, there's the video game thing too. But I mean, hey, I love video games too. I get it. But
Kyler
Yeah, I mean,
Murray's
he's-
5'10",
what?
207.
who
And
is
how old
Murray?
is he? He's like 28?
Yeah.
Murray? No, he's like 26, I think.
Yeah,
now.
26. I mean, he's still
5'10",
still young.
207.
Mhm.
Bryce Young's 5'10", 204.
Bullshit, he is.
According to Sleeper, he's 5'10", 204.
Look at him
What?
standing next to any other player, dude. No chance.
I know.
I remember watching him as a rookie last year, standing next to Andy Dalton. It was noticeably smaller. It was ridiculous. But also, like, he's probably seeing ghosts out there too. Like, the fact that he got he couldn't complete passes to wide open dudes. It's not a good sign. I mean, in terms of like that, yeah. That
No, Adam Thielen had all the right when he was healthy to be pissed at Bryce Young because there was passes that he had clear shots on, was underthrowing or overthrowing, and he's
Right.
just it's not material.
Yeah.
I mean, Bryce Young was Alabama, right?
Yes.
Which, I mean, what's Alabama quarterbacks known for? Dual threats. And
Not being good in the NFL primarily.
that too. But that was kind of where I was getting at, is
I wouldn't say
Alabama
they're
quarterbacks
always been
are
known
good
as dual
and-
threats.
well,
Like, not
my
always,
point
I
I was getting to was like their Alabama quarterbacks specifically, dual threat quarterbacks that can throw an okay ball to elite wide receivers that are a foot taller than the rest of the SEC, and they get to the NFL and that doesn't translate.
I mean, what are like the last few that came out of Alabama? What, Jalen Hurts, Tua,
Jalen, Tua, Bryce,
Mac Jones.
Alabama quarterbacks.
What
Let's
is
see.
it? AJ
AJ
McCarron.
McCarron.
Definitely not a dual threat. And Brent Musburger is obsessed with his wife.
Andy Dalton is only 4 inches taller than Bryce Young. Andy Dalton
That's what it
6'2".
says there, dude. You have any
Yeah.
idea how many times that thing lies about height?
No, I went on to Google and actually Googled them.
So the internet is not lying
Yeah.
to you.
But
The
even
end.
then, 4-inch difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
no,
a
that's
big difference.
yeah, it is.
yeah. He like Bryce Young is 5'8", and Andy Dalton is 6'1", something like that.
Yeah,
5'9", 6'1".
Yep.
Somewhere
Pretty
in
much.
that ballpark. Yeah, but it's garbage. He's a lost cause, I think. Not to I mean, it's whatever. I don't want to blame him completely, but I mean, I'm gonna blame him partially because he's just not good.
Yeah,
Not
no,
like-
I
I
haven't
don't
seen
like the
anything
rookies this
that
year, man. Rookies this year lighting it up.
Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels,
Yeah, I got a reason to
At
fight.
least this week, Caleb had a good week.
Hey, yeah, all you gotta do
Drake.
is play the Panthers.
He just
Drake
had a-
May has a chance at showing us what he can do this upcoming week. I'm excited about that a little bit.
I would love to see how he does because he was my favorite quarterback in this draft class.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
wanted so bad for him to go to Minnesota. It was not even close. No, they had to.
I wonder how
stick around.
Scott feels about JJ still on his IR.
Scott believes that J.J. McCarthy will start immediately next year. I don't know where
I
he
don't
gets
know.
that confidence. He also said that Jonathan Brooks will be an immediate impact player as soon as he gets off the IR. I don't know if that's true or not. Did he play this week?
No.
Oh, weird. Weird. He was eligible too. Strange how that happens.
Well, actually,
He's impacting the bench, is what he's doing.
Let me see.
With his 2 butt cheeks.
Yep. I was gonna say, if
Oh.
anybody knows, it should have been Scott who knew if he played him or not.
No, he did not play
There you go.
because he was on the pup list.
Yep, still on the pup list.
He's still there? Jesus.
Still,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought
Still
he was
on the
going to be
pup
eligible
list.
after 4 weeks. I mean, he did tear his ACL last November, or wait, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, November, I think. So, I mean, they're not in a hurry to bring him back or bring him onto the
No.
field.
I
Not at
mean-
this rate. Doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
and it's Miles Sanders.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, it is. I was like, wait, I only know really Miles Sanders. Oh, wait, Chuba is my running back.
Yeah, man,
Who
he's the dude.
It just took Andy Dalton, and look how he's doing. It just takes Andy Dalton.
Well, that's all it takes, just a competent quarterback to where you can like actually spread out the defense and not have everybody just like lining up in the box because you're not afraid of the quarterback throwing the ball. That's all it takes.
Which that got into the decision I made to pull it a little bit back into our fantasy talks. Why I played Xavier Legette instead of Darnell Mooney. Because here I'm thinking, Xavier had a couple good weeks with Andy Dalton. They've established a good connection. He's their number one option since Adam Thielen was in and out. I think Adam Thielen's actually on.
Well, Deontay Johnson is still their number one option.
You should have looked at defenses, though.
I
That's where you went wrong. Carolina defense,
Well, because
Chicago's defense. That's not a fair comparison.
Quan Brisker shadowing that dude.
Yeah.
Not going to help anybody.
Well, and I mean, a lot of where Darnell Mooney shined was in that fourth quarter. Because goddamn,
Yeah. I mean,
that was
I don't,
a
I
nutty.
don't,
That was a
I don't
nutty
watch Thursday night games just as a rule, but
I usually don't
Apparently
watch
that-
Thursday night games either, but I caught a little bit of the end of it, and damn, that was nuts.
apparently, yeah, he just put on an exhibition. He definitely out-targeted Drake May, as far as I understand.
Drake London,
Whatever his name is. Some dude with Drake.
whatever, one of those guys.
Make those East Coast snack cakes.
Well, you were thinking Drake May because he was your favorite quarterback coming out of. the
Yeah, I
rookies.
got Drake May on the mind. I'm going to put his poster right behind me, right over the
That
turnstile
should have
I'll
been
to
the
put up.
bet, but which, getting into
Well,
that,
I don't reveal.
we'll-
I don't like to reveal all my man crushes beforehand. So
we'll see. Luckily, Nick won't have to taste any durian.
lucky for
But,
him, it's
I don't
fine.
know,
You were
maybe
never in danger.
Not this year.
Never.
I'm sure we'll be rivals at some point again.
Probably not. I'm probably going to call out Scott next year because
It's a good call out.
yeah.
I want to call out Matt. Did you see his bench players this week? Did you see
Matt?
who he started in a rivalry week? Yeah, Matt.
No.
Oh, his bench players.
Let's take a look.
Yeah,
Why
You're
they
gonna
did
wanna look
well
at
or
that.
No?
So
they did. If he would have started his bench players, Kyle wouldn't have had a shot.
oh,
So he started Jerome Ford and Zach Moss. He had
That's
Tank
it,
Bigsby and Ramondre Stevenson sitting on the bench.
Okay.
Like that right there, and Trey Sermon sitting on the bench. That right there would have taken place for 7.8 points from Jerome Ford. Zach Moss got 6.8. In the flex position, he could have put Wicks, who got 3 points, Sermon at 17, Stevenson at 19, Bigsby at 29.
All right. So you're thinking that he knew that they were going to score that many points, so he should have put those guys in.
I'm not saying that, but usually he runs with Stevenson and Bigsby, so it was weird to see Moss and Ford both in there.
I think he benched Stevenson because they were like trying to prove a point to him, or like they pseudo benched him, and then they went right back in the damn game. So like that's probably. I mean, I can understand not starting Bigsby either because like he's entirely reliant on
clear
ETN
number
not
two
getting the
behind
ball.
Etienne.
Yeah, obviously, but I mean like he's still the number 2, and if ETN's going to be like healthy and running
That's
the ball,
fair.
there's not like and plus ETN's in on the passing down, so I mean there's not a lot of room. He just has to like be the superstar looking guy that he's been. God damn, I fucking dropped
But what
him
about
and
Trey?
dropped
But
him.
what about Trey Sermon? You knew he was going to be the lead back for Indy this week.
Yeah, but he also sucks ass. He's a terrible running back. That's why the Niners gave up on him. And then they gave him to Philly, and they gave up on him. And now he's with Indy,
Yeah.
only starting by accident.
I guess I'm just mad because Matt should have pulled off that victory.
Whatever, dude.
I don't like seeing Matt at 1-4. I guess.
No, Matt has just had a string of very unfortunate events with his team.
He was the least effective manager this week with a 70.8. He could have maxed out at 193, and he scored 136. I think that might be a little bit what I'm angry about.
Whatever, dude. Sometimes you just, you pick the wrong one. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
Sometimes
no, absolutely.
I don't think Matt's doing that shit on purpose, if that's what you're insinuating.
No, I just hate seeing him at the bottom.
Okay. I mean, he's not at the bottom, so don't worry. I'm at the bottom.
Right?
The bottom is very clearly taken.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10 is clearly taken.
I'm planning to set up furniture and gonna decorate a lot down here.
I'm gonna start paying rent down there.
I'm not paying rent for shit. I'm squatting.
I mean, that's fair and understandable.
Do
You don't have to pay to be down there.
No.
we
Just
have
pay to be
any
on
do we have any questions or comments from last week?
Oh, yeah, good point. So nothing on the podcast side. I also don't expect any comments or anything coming from there. So I honestly didn't know that you could leave comments on Spotify stuff. But nothing I could see on that side. We did have the poll got one response.
Nice.
And it was just who's been your favorite member on the podcast, and it was me. Haha, suck it, bitches. I did not vote either.
I know. I voted for you.
Let's go.
I was like, I'm going to vote for the host. I don't like that prick that occasionally wears sunglasses. That guy sucks.
I know, right?
Who wears sunglasses inside?
You have them on your
I
hat.
wear my sunglasses.
Yeah.
So, we have two questions, both from our commish. We'll start with the first one, which was what superpower would you choose?
Come on, nerds. Let's get to
If
it.
you had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, there's so many good ones out there, though.
Well, you got to pick one. You can't spend that much time thinking about it.
There's some very clear options that I would choose, but also I don't want to be a basic bitch.
I think strength. I think strength would be the go-to.
Okay. Super strength? You want to be
Yeah,
super strong?
super strength. Don't need somebody else to help me lift shit. I'll be able to do it myself. Don't gotta wait.
Entirely.
Get components. Convenience.
Just a
Convenience.
practical thing.
Yeah, convenience.
It'll help me move from apartment to apartment.
Yeah, home to home. If I get a flat tire, I don't need a jack. Let me just crank this
carry
tire
the
off
fucking
real
thing
quick and not carry it home, but it lift it up to get it off the ground. Fuck. I ain't carrying it home. Just.
I mean, you're strong. You can do what you want.
I think convenience. I think strength would be convenience. Absolutely.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, I'm going with time travel, and that's purely for my own personal financial benefit. Because I mean, if I had the ability to see the future, time travel, and I was back in 2010, and I was like, 2012 or whenever Leicester City won the EPL over in England, I would have just had to put a $5 bet down, and I would have won $25,000. So, purely for my own financial gain, I am gonna.
You could also get one of those $1 billion lottery tickets.
Exactly. Or do travel in the future and just put all championship bets. Do whoever's gonna win all championships this year. Fast forward a little bit, go check it out. Oh, okay. Let me go. January, put in a couple bets.
You don't even need to go back that far, really.
No.
If you go back to playoffs, what was it, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
When Jacksonville they made the comeback or they lost by that comeback.
No,
I
I mean, that guy put $1 million bet down because he thought he was going to for sure get a payout and lost $1 million. Now imagine if you would have put $10 that they would have made that comeback.
I mean,
You don't even need to go that far back into history.
Nope.
Probably not.
You really don't.
No, I mean that's
You just put it down on the world Argentina win the World Cup 2 years ago.
yeah.
Or I can fast forward to 2026 and I'll be like, U.S. is gonna fail as they always do. Sorry,
Yeah.
This is a different type of football, but soccer is my first sport. So as you can tell,
I get you.
Seattle Founders. So
Football. No, yeah. I mean, you could definitely time travel through all the political ads
Football?
for every year.
All you did was bundle them together. That's all you did.
Well,
You
I'm
bundled
gonna
football
skip
with
every
football.
November, every 4th year. Like, ooh, that's gonna be pretty sweet.
I don't know, just skip until like November 12th.
Christmas time, basically.
Well, I want to at least enjoy Thanksgiving, and or how about this? I'll skip to Wednesday night of Thanksgiving, enjoy Thanksgiving, and then skip until like December 15th.
That makes sense.
Oh, there you go.
At least the music wouldn't get so damn old on you. I get that.
They
Exactly.
started earlier and earlier every year.
Every
Yeah,
year.
pretty much.
I already see Christmas decorations at Costco.
What's Justin's superpower?
Oh, I always think about this kind of thing. Like, maybe it could be magic. Then I gotta have definitely a bunch of different powers, but that's kind of corny.
Would you take the kaiju power from Kaiju number 8?
No, because then you pee out of your nipples.
That is true. I forgot about that. Which, by the way, did finish.
Justin
that.
didn't.
No, I finished it. What are you talking about?
No, he didn't forget that. He didn't
No, I'll
forget where
never
they pee
forget
from.
that. No,
I'm never
remember
gonna
when
forget that now. I totally forgot, and then Justin brought it back. I'm like, oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, it's a very well animated anime. Yeah, I think my go-to answer is always like telekinesis, like just moving shit
Okay.
in my mind and things like that. Then I can like fast travel, just pick up like almost like Static Shock. Like you pick up a garbage plate, you just surf on that shit all the way to where you need to go. But then like you always get good answers from other people. They're like, oh, maybe teleportation, dude, easily. Then I don't have to pay for travel. I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense too.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
fair. Kind of like Jumper, where if you've seen it, if you even seen just a picture of it, you can go there.
Absolutely,
Yeah, that was
terrible
a good movie.
but I mean, like, great concept.
That's what I meant. Good concept. Yeah, the acting terrible, storyline
I mean,
terrible.
Sam Jackson's
concept,
in it. That makes
great.
it pretty cool. But beyond that, Hayden
I mean, it
Christensen.
had. I was just saying, Hayden Christensen is only really good for one thing, and that was Anakin Skywalker.
Not even that. Nope.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
There's debate. There's debate on that too. So
Yeah, that's a whole different debate. We can start a nerd podcast if we want.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll nerd out
because
pretty
I've got
hard.
I've got some topics to talk about on that one. So
Yeah.
what was question number 2?
Number 2, from 2 hours ago, what is your favorite cocktail?
Well, I don't drink. I was unfortunate and have not really been out drinking at all, so I don't have a cocktail. I'm out of this one.
What about for like a juice or like non-alcoholic drink? You don't have to have alcohol in it.
I mean, it's Shirley
Shirley
Temple.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's they're good. Caitlin gets them when we go out to eat, and she'll get them. She'll get the Virgin Shirley Temple, and they are delicious. So
Nothing wrong
that would
with
be that. But if I had to do a mixed drink, in my heyday when I was, doing it when I was legally allowed to,
Yeah.
it would have been Long Island iced teas.
Gotcha.
Those are delicious, and I can drink them dangerously fast.
Well, I mean, everybody can drink them dangerously fast. That's the problem with those things.
They go down.
Yeah,
way too easy.
that's
They go down
yep.
way
That's
too
why I
easy.
said dangerously fast. Yep.
And they kick like a mule.
Yeah. Yep.
How about you, Ryan?
Just-
But that'd be my answers.
Good answer.
Justin, what would you say?
I mean, if somebody else is making it for me, I'll probably say a Long Island iced tea. It's probably my favorite go-to. If I'm making it at home, I like to keep it simple because I don't have a shaker and I don't do those flips and shit like it's cocktail. Usually like rum and pineapple juice. Just something simple.
Simple. Nothing wrong.
What kind of
with
rum?
Yeah.
Name brand or
actually-
just generic?
Any particular brand? I'm trying to like venture out into more exotic brands. I want to get ones that are actually sippable without things, but I mean, like those will actually cost a fair bit more
Yeah.
than what we're used
Yeah.
to. So
Yep.
yeah,
If
Plantation.
you
was
want
the
a good
last one I
whiskey,
used. It was
if
pretty
you
good.
want a good whiskey or a good
Okay.
rye, Bullet is pretty good.
Well, unfortunately I don't have the taste for whiskey.
I
I'm
don't know.
less of a man.
Yeah. I mean, we play pretend football, so.
Yeah, that's a manly sport every year.
Yeah, I
It takes
pretend to be
about
manly.
6 months of our life.
That is true.
That's why I just brought up
Uh,
anime facts and we talked about Star Wars, and I could tell you that I'm in between playing Pokemon on my Switch.
Nice.
And then
I just beat one, so I'm not Yeah, I just beat one, so you're not the only one.
Don't worry. And then I have my Funko Pops over here signed by the voice actors from my favorite animes.
Yeah, so we're with you.
Don't worry.
That's why we're up at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday making a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, drink of choice, so not sponsored. Bartesian has changed my life in terms of mixed drinks. I kind of tell people it's like the Keurig for cocktails. It makes it for you. You just put in the pod. You tell it how strong you want it. It makes it for you right there. It's pretty great. Been able to explore some cool things. I think my favorite so far out of that is called either a bee's knees, which is like a honey, like I think it's honey and gin or something like that. So that's pretty good. Or lemon drops, which is more or less alcoholic lemonade. And goddamn,
Yeah,
Basically.
I was gonna say those are dangerous.
Yeah,
They
lemon
are
drops are very good. But we'll wrap it up here. We just hit about roughly that hour mark, so we'll wrap it up here. Boys, any closing thoughts? Anything to look out for going into Week 6? Any parting thoughts that you have before we sign off?
I have a couple parting thoughts. One, I'm going to continue to suck in our fantasy league. I'm going to hold down the bottom spot again. I don't think I'm going to win another game until Puka comes back, so I'm going to keep my expectations very low. And point number 2, I actually am very interested in looking to see Drake May perform this week. He was my favorite quarterback, as I said, coming into this year, and I really want to see how well he's going to do. I don't remember the matchup specifically, but I mean, here's hoping he's going to be competent at best.
Better than most rookie quarterbacks this year.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, I got a couple. Hopefully I win this week facing my brother. That's always the true rivalry right there. I know that we do our rivalries, but I never want to lose to my brother. It always sucks. He's got a phenomenal team. Hopefully, like I said, with that big trade that we had in the offseason, hopefully the 2 players that I got out of it perform way better than the 2 players that he did, or the player that he did. So the other one, please, for the love of fantasy, NFL, stop with the injuries. I cannot do a whole lot more injuries on my team, as well as I'm sure you guys are in the same boat. I am sick and tired of every week hearing about 2 to 3 more big names going down. So hopefully things turn around this week and we don't have another laundry list of injuries next week to talk about, but track record will prove itself.
Yeah, I might be starting Caleb Williams this week.
You might finally start McConkey over there. Lad
He was on bye last week. I couldn't do it. I would have.
I know.
All right,
What about you,
boys,
Ryan?
but
You got any predictions this week?
predictions this week, just to be competitive against Andy. I'm not expecting a
Oh
win.
no!
Just to say I'm here.
Andy. Oh,
I'm playing Andy, so I at least want to be competitive. I at least want to put up some points. Make
I
it
don't
at
want to
least
say
close.
I'm cheering for you because that might give you bad luck. So I mean,
Yeah,
I'm silently
I mean,
saying things for that game.
my hope is Nico Collins is out, most likely, which means
But that's Scotty. So, oh, you mean
Yeah,
Well,
but that
Diggs.
means Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. Pollard is back off a bye week, so we'll have Tony Pollard back in. Chuba is balling out under Andy Dalton as his quarterback, so he'll hopefully continue with that. Probably need to move Xavier Legette out of there. But yeah, I mean, I just want to be competitive. I just want to keep it close.
I just want to have fun.
That's
I
a
just wanna
weekly
have fun,
prayer.
guys.
I get it, man. I
I
get
just
it.
want to have fun. I'm not expecting a win. I at least want to make Andy sweat a little bit.
Like, please, I just want to make it close.
Penny for the poor, sir.
Just make it close. Just maybe throw the ball to Tyler
I
Lockett
think
a little
I
more.
will. I do think though that we do have a record watch right now, because since we've been a dynasty, I think the longest without a loss is 5 weeks, and that was Justin last year. because I'm sure by week 2 the year prior, everybody had a win or a loss. I believe last year was the longest win streak to start the season at 5, which Andy currently has tied.
Well, didn't Andy have a good, like the first year we played? I thought he had a win streak going to that one, too.
I think he lost, like, week 3, but I am not 100% certain.
Oh, so
but I
there's
do believe
only
we
one
have
place
a
for him to
record
go.
watch. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean,
Well,
nowhere to go
I'll
but down.
try. I'll try.
Yep.
I believe in
Give
you.
it the old college try.
I'll give it the old college try. I probably have the most degrees out of everyone on the team, so I'll give it the old college try.
You probably do.
Oh, I mean, I have 2, so.
That beats my none.
Yeah, so, but we'll sign off here, boys. Whoever's out there listening to whatever this is, we appreciate you for listening in, following us on YouTube or listening in on Spotify. If you want to have us read off a question you have or read off a comment, we always like to try to put a little bit of time for you guys there. So if you want to leave us a comment over on Spotify, go ahead and do that, or you can leave a comment on YouTube. Both of those are that Desert Dynasty Football. You'll find us there. You can always shoot us an email too if you don't want to post anything. Just shoot us an email. It's at desertdynastyfootball@gmail.com. That is still open and running. I look at it at least weekly. And then I'll try to find another fun poll for us to do. If you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and let me know. But I'll throw
Whatever
some
I just
sort
thought
poll
of is
on
not
the
appropriate for a poll. That's for sure.
Yeah, I figured as much. So we'll sign off here,
try.
guys. We'll see you guys after week 5, going into week 6, or we'll talk about hopefully no more injuries, but we'll see how it goes. All right, y'all. Have a good rest of your night. We'll talk soon.
Night.